Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're taking a look at the 1977 Lotus Esprit S1. Now this, like the Aston Martin DBS, is part of the Best of the Bond car pack, and yeah, this was made between 1976 and 1978, with the Esprit name itself with various iterations, lasting until 2004, with 10,675 of them being built. But only 718 of these Lotus Esprit S1s were ever made, and they're getting rarer by the day, really, because of drivetrain problems. But yeah, this was one of the better James Bond cars, quite frankly, especially from the early days, and was the first, gadget-ridden James Bond car to not be a Aston Martin. And yeah, I really am glad that this is in game. It's not the first Lotus Esprit we've had it in a Forza game. Obviously we've had the V8 from the early 2000s before, and we've actually had the S2 version of this car in Forza Motorsport 4. So yeah, Lotus Esprit has long been in these games, but this is the first time we've ever had this version in the game, and yeah, love it, quite frankly. And now it's not the most practical mid-engine sports car ever. I mean, you got your spare wheel in the front, and in the back, for whatever reason, decided not to cover up the engine. So yeah, you're not going to be able to use that as a boot, because whatever goes in there is going to get hot against that engine and most likely set fire. So yeah, not a practical sports car by any means, but it's a good sports car nonetheless. And yeah, like I said, infamous for being part of the Bond films. Only in 2 films, but made a massive impression. Now the engine is not the most impressive part of this car, if we can get in there. 160 horsepower, 140 pounds-feet of torque from a 2-litre inline-4 engine, so not massively powerful by any means. It's certainly the least powerful version of this Esprit, and it was even less powerful in America due to emissions. I think you only got about 140 horsepower, so yeah, not brilliant in terms of outright power, which obviously does affect acceleration and outright speed, but yeah, nonetheless it is a pretty damn good car in terms of handling and in terms of looks. Now let's just quickly take a look at this car with the transformation that it performed in Spy Who Loved Me. If we can find the upgrades, yeah, I'll just quickly show it here so you know what it looks like. This is what the car transformed to in Spy Who Loved Me, if you've never seen it before, which God knows how. So yeah, there we go. Obviously it didn't have the wheels out when it transformed into a submarine, but this is so you can actually drive it. But yeah, you had the periscope, you had the fins, and you had the side parts on those windows, and obviously the propellers at the back with the rudders. So yeah, it's pretty funny that you can actually drive it like that, but we're going to drive it in its normal version, and yeah, let's get out there and see what it can do. So yeah, cracking little sports car this. No, it's not the most powerful thing ever. I actually want to just turn around when we get on a proper road. But that does mean that, it's not going to really outclass you in terms of driving. So if you haven't got the best driving abilities in the world, and I certainly don't, it means you can have plenty of fun with it, but, not crash, or at least not make a mess of it. And yeah, it might only have 160 horsepower, but the fact it only weighs 2,101 pounds means that it can make the most of that power. And because of that lack of weight, it's also really good in terms of handling. It was actually lauded for its handling at the time, and it's said to have the best steering of any Esprit made. So yeah, you've got that going for it, and most likely it's going to be down to that lack of weight, because obviously the less weight you have, the less the car has to use everything else to go for it. So the less the tyres have to put up with, the less power you actually need to haul that weight around. Now it was also criticised for its lack of power, but quite frankly that's not really a massive problem when you consider how good it is to actually drive. Now in terms of acceleration, it might not be the best, certainly not the quickest Bond car ever, but not to 67.419 seconds, 0 to 120 seconds, and it'll go into a top speed of 132 mph, which is not bad at all. It's certainly more than enough to outpace the kind of vehicles that this car was getting chased by in The Spy Who Loved Me, which was involved in a cracking car chase really. First you had a motorcycle with a sidecar that had a explosive in that sidecar which was fired at Bond. Then he was chased by a car with goons in it, including Jaws, who was shooting at him. And then he was chased by a helicopter with machine guns. And then finally he made the leap into the water to turn into a submarine and have an action scene under the water as well. So yeah, might well be more famous for that kind of scene, but it's still a cracking car in its own right, and I can fully see why this car lasted a full 28 years, from the mid-70s to the early 2000s. So yeah, just really pleased that it's in the game, and yeah, even more pleased that it's obviously part of that Bond pack, which features other Bond cars that I have also wanted in the Forza game. So yeah, it's a cracking all-round vehicle. Might not be the most practical, and it certainly isn't the fastest, but it is a fun car, and yeah, you get to turn it into a submarine. So what else can you really want from a car like this, really? And it's also got pop-up headlights, which is something that never changed when this car, over its 28-year life. It's one of the few things that didn't change on it even. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.